Okay, we're back. And yeah, we were just trying to work out what we're doing next. I think I was saying that yeah, I was curious to know if Nightfall wanted to share that like encounter or keep it like to herself for a bit.
So I reckon Nightfall would have just kind of passed it on. Particularly given it was a work kind of thing and Salia was okay with it, there would be no reason Nightfall would want to keep that a secret. So yeah, she would go back and let him know, particularly Belle, given that Belle knows things about the ghost stuff, to kind of say, this is the weird situation, this body was taken, I don't really understand what that would be for, because like this isn't really my jam. Also, this is the photo of what the
which Belle immediately recognizes, obviously.
It's Zamira's new body, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. It's the one that you just put a ghost in.
I have a very important question. And I think Belle Belle hears this. Belle like sees the picture and makes like a kind of like, oh yeah, noise, and is like in the middle of explaining this, and then suddenly just like goes dead still. As like an uncomfortable beat of silence. And then they turn to look at Adi, and they say, how did your mother die?
Oh boy.
She was ill. There's a lot of sickness down in the farms, and sometimes you catch something from one of the one of the eels, I guess.
She was ill from an eel? Ill?
She was ill.
She was ill. Then it just got worse and worse and worse. And
Can I, Ash, do a gather information about... And like my question is are the symptoms of like what happened to Adi's mother the same as what this
that
person
sounds like a gather information roll.
The same as what right?
Yep.
And I think this is study, which I'm not the best at. So if someone would like to help me, that would be good.
I can help you. Adi knows a lot about tinkering about human bodies, and so I think Adi can explain to you in great detail medically what went wrong, not arcanely, but medically.
Yeah, I think it's like I almost feel like this like rings other bell. Like Belle starts describing other mysterious deaths under like vaguely similar circumstances, and like between us we like try to put together this picture. Yeah. Ash, position and effect.
I think that this seems controlled to me, but like, if are you just like consulting your own knowledge?
Yeah, and Adi's, I think.
And Adi's, then I think it's only standard.
Yep, I think that'll do it. Like I can imagine what great effect might look like here, but I don't think we need it.
Yeah.
And then one bonus die.
All right. Let me have a look because this is tricky.
This part of the game is a little opaque too.
The problem is I'm going back and forth between a couple of pages, and my PDF thing doesn't have
bookmarks.
Bookmarks.
Yeah.
That's the one.
I went through and manually put bookmarks in the one that I'm using so that I could do that.
It doesn't come with bookmarks? That's so annoying.
Well, like the PDF
Like
I have has the table that has the like document outline. It's just that I can't put custom bookmarks in with my particular client.
I color coded mine with tabs.
That's a good idea.
I uploaded mine to a bookmarking software, like free online one, added my customs, and then re-downloaded it.
Wow.
Okay. This is like the symptoms described suggest that a certain like part of the body is like, you know, it's a deficit in a certain like humor or something, right? We're talking about more complex things than like 4 humors. We're talking about like dozens of humors, but like, yeah, a certain humor in the body drains over time and then it dies, right?
Like the blood humor, perhaps.
And and it's very unusual for this to be a thing that happens like kind of naturally. Some diseases might do it, but people would usually recover from such a disease really quickly. The main way that people would die from this is if they were being poisoned slowly over time.
May I ask a follow-up question?
Yes.
Did Salia mention, or when Adi was like preparing her mother for burial,
Mm-hmm.
were there any unusual marks on the body? And I don't mean like bite marks, but like it is my memory that like vampiric feeding leaves like weird spirit marks. And like
yes, it does. Yes, specifically, Salia and Adi, you don't remember that being a thing.
okay. Yeah, okay. So they weren't vampirized to death. They were chosen and prepared. Yeah, okay. Cool.
Yeah. The thing, if you were going to the way that you would drain this essence is like the poison is like extracted from like an electroplasm related substance. I think when you turn like demon oil into electroplasm or something like that, or when you get electroplasm from a ghost or whatever, it's like a side product.
Yeah.
Like molasses, right?
Mm.
It's and like most of the time you dump it into the sea.
Mm. Do you mix it back in, and is there equivalent of brown sugar?
Probably.
Because that's why brown sugar is brown.
Yeah, I know.
Molasses.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. Who knows what?
Yeah, no. I don't know that like
Cat, you
I don't
learned a-
know that either of you know anything about like a thing of like mixing it back in. That seems like a really bad idea. Yeah.
Sounds volatile.
Mm-hmm.
It does.
Yes, but so you would have to be a pretty like there are only like a few, like a handful of people in the city who would have access to that sort of thing.
Mm.
Grandma might have an idea of who these two around the city might be.
Do you want to? Yeah, I mean, do you want to like check in with her and see how that looks? Do you want to
Yeah.
consult with her?
Yeah, I'll just consult with sort of see like if she knows who could have access to this
Mm-hmm.
extremely rare volatile chemical or oil.
Mhm.
So that's
Sure.
a consult risky standard. What's the
I think this is controlled. Actually, what's your current status on Grandma Hates You clock?
I think it's on 1. Only 1.
Okay, it's risky standard. The risk
Yeah.
is Grandma doesn't like talking about this.
Yeah, right. Risky standard. Cool. Oh no, I rolled a 1.
The only person she knows that has that sort of thing are the Dimmer sisters.
You should know better than me. Oh, good.
I don't think she just says probably the Dimmer sisters. They're all
Yeah.
weird and creepy, right? Like,
Right. Oof. All right. So, I guess I when we sort of talk about this a bit later on, I pass on that knowledge. So there's like it's not really a good lead. I mean, we could ask them, but I'm not sure if it helps our situation. What do you think, Goran?
I don't feel like we're getting anywhere. I feel like we need to find your mum and ask her personally.
you know where she goes.
I think Belle holds up a finger.
Please.
and like sighs. There's this deep, like sad, resigned sigh, and looks like apologetically at Adi. We cannot ask your mother anything. She is dead.
Yeah.
Sting wears her face, but referring to it like it is still your mother will only make this harder for you. And I think they like look like, quite intently at Corin, like
Corin backs you. He
like behave yourself.
yeah, Corin backs you. He says, "You are right. We risk thinking about this thing in too personal a way." Bell speaks the truth. Someone wears your mother's shell, and I seek to exorcise that person, that thing. If we do go forth with this plan, do you think you could concoct a device, an explosive device, that disrupts a person's spirit from their body?
Oh, it's hard. I can only do it for a few seconds. I've got that.
That is all I need.
Alchemical. All right, the thing that knocks the soul back into the ghost field that we established I had earlier.
So, did Belle indicate to Nightfall who the person, like that you recognize the face in the photo and
I think so.
where from and all of that?
I mean, I don't know that they like. I don't know that they were like, okay, and now is story time. Let me tell you, blah blah blah. But they were like, They were like, yes, I recognize this person. I don't think it's super relevant, like to what we are doing immediately right now.
Yeah, but did you kind of explain to me what happened to because I would have asked,
because the body,
Yeah,
I think.
I know. I think they said, like the body was used to make like a vampire.
Okay, and your involvement in that, was that made clear? The fact that you literally took the the ghost,
to
make it a vampire.
Yeah, it was Karin's idea. No, that's not what Belle says. Belle is just like, yes, as though this is the most reasonable thing in the world.
So in what way is you taking a spirit to make that body a vampire different to a spirit now using Adi's mother's body? What gives us the right to decide that just because we know this body better than the other one, we get to take it back?
This is family.
It's not anymore. It's a corpse.
Corin
The
looks
spirit's gone.
really uncomfortable.
Yeah, that was a job.
It's like taking a jar that's holding perfectly good whatever, tipping out whatever's in it, smashing the jar and saying, nah, you can't have it, it's our jar. What's the point? What's the point of any of this? We can't go and have a conversation with Adi's mum. Adi's mum is gone. The person who's inside Adi's mother's body isn't Adi's mother anymore. Why are we...
Because the body is still there, and the body is something that we want back badly. It's not just for me, it's for my family. And if you want, we'll go get that vampire's body back for your friend.
We were
we get jobs, we do them. We can also make our own jobs.
I will not say we were lied to. We did not ask too many questions, but no one said the word vampire. We did not know until there was the body. And more than this, we did not kill that girl. Whereas this creature, they are involved in the Centuralia Club at high level, that is not a place of small power, small influence. They come and go from Scarlock Manor without hesitation. That is not a place of no small power. This thing in the body.
I think that maybe we're thinking too small. We're going after the body and not the creature inside it. We don't care for we're thinking about the fact that this is happening in town. There have been multiple people who have been poisoned for the sake of their bodies. I think the more important issue is who that is happening to now, not who it's already happened to. The body's just flesh now. That's not going to help us solve anything.
Can you do a PvP role in this game, like a sway
Okay,
role?
so the way
in the book about this.
there's a section in the book
I'm ready
about
to
this.
be convinced.
So the thing is, what we do is we do a couple of do we need to escalate, right? So first off, we have a thing of are you saying, V, that you think that a D can be convinced of a thing?
Yep.
Of this? Yeah, cool.
Especially from Nightfall. Nightfall's
yeah.
good at this.
Cool. Do you think it needs a roll, right? Because it's only a roll if there's a risk.
Or is it even like a fortune roll?
Are you interested in the version of the story where you are you interested in the version of the story where you aren't convinced?
I'm interested in both, sort of.
Yeah. So then I think in that case, that sounds like if you're interested in both versions of the story, then I think a sway roll from Nightfall is a very valuable way of finding out which version of the story we go with.
Yeah. There's one other thing that Corin would like to say.
Yeah. Ooh, can they help and hinder on either side, sort of thing?
You can't.
Everyone can weigh in. No.
Let me see if this helps or hinders. The creature that Corin met certainly had an interest in Adi and wanted to know her whereabouts and knew of her, and also was surprised when I gave her false information about Adi's grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems to me that this person is either still Adi's mother or knows intimately her family history. I think we need to entertain the possibility that Adi's mother is the vampire.
I do want to remind you, Derek, that there was someone that you interacted with someone who had been spying on Adi's family.
And I was going to say, if they've been poisoning them long term as well, it's unlikely that it's perfectly likely that they just know this information.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's
I'm
awesome.
just putting that out there.
Yeah.
And while we're laying cards on the table, ironically, Belle doesn't care. Belle, this is an intellectual, answering Nightfall's question is like an intellectual puzzle to Belle.
Yes.
They have no strong moral urging or voice that says that even actually honestly that what the vampires are doing is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
As far as Belle is concerned, mortal life is a very transient, temporary thing, and the soul is the real person.
Yeah.
I do want to say, I'm not sure how, Belle, you would have seen this kind of poisoning though, right? This poisoning because you've seen it, and you've seen, because you worked in the refinery, didn't you?
No, I worked near the refinery.
Okay, you would have seen people poisoned by this through exposure though, and you would have known how horrible and suffering it is.
But even then, like, it's transitory suffering.
Yeah.
Like, the
Okay.
thing-
That's
the thing
what I
that
wanted
Belle
to check.
has-
Right,
Was that
yeah,
there
yeah.
wasn't a thing from that?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
the thing that Belle has a personal stake in here is a D.
Right. I think so. Fictionally, the position for Adi is that, and this is sort of why I can't decide. Like, it's either Adi goes after the body just because Adi's been obsessed with this for so long, or Nightfall is actually putting a really moral argument. And I think Adi wants to be convinced of it, but like, I'm trying to like play off my trauma also, like that it's really hard to let go. And especially when there's like that feeling like of like, it might be like some slimmer hope that it might bring back the mother is too enticing as well. So like, that's why Adi is torn between those two things.
Yeah. And I think for Nightfall, it's very like, I think that it's only going to hurt Adi to go and talk to someone and then find out that the person inside her mother
I
is
know.
not her mother. And
I
I'm like,
love
well,
it.
that's not going to work.
I love
It's
how
not going to be positive. And then
Yeah.
the fact that there is so much crap going on in the city that's significantly more important.
That's right.
And it's like, can we get to the source of the problem as opposed to claiming back a body that for all intents and purposes is exactly the same as the body you just put a spirit in. Like,
Yeah.
it's very, Nightfall's just like, I don't understand why this is a conversation. Like, this is obviously not the most important thing right now.
Oh, awesome. So my
Particularly given she has no stakes in terms of family and mothers.
Yeah,
now.
like-
It's she's
like
like, oh, what are we doing? It's just like a flesh sack. I don't get this.
Things are personal to Nightfall in a different way.
yeah.
Totally,
And
100%.
the fact that this is personal just doesn't compute.
And
That's
I'm thinking
awesome.
about the fact that, like, there are so many vulnerable people.
Yeah.
How many of them are being poisoned? And all those vulnerable people were people like
Mm.
me. And so it's like, who are these people right now who are being made sick because of this? Yeah, it's very, like,
Yeah.
differently personal.
So I guess
Right.
I would say either roll this way and I don't know, like can Adi spend a stress to help because it's like
Yeah,
representing
you can if you want. Yeah.
Adi's like wanting to be convinced.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Okay, cool. Let's do that. That's really cool. And
Is it risky standard or what are we doing?
I think this is. I mean, I think that that question needs to go to V.
What are we doing here?
Like, is there a risk of it? Like, is there a risk?
How
Is it
big
a
the
risk?
effect?
Is it a risk where
Ooh.
life is on the line?
I don't think it's a risk
Um,
where life is on the line. I think it's a risk of someone doing something stupid afterwards.
Yeah,
Which is,
alright.
I guess, yeah.
So risky, but not desperate.
No, it's not.
Standard, great, limited. What do you feel like the outcome is on a success?
Standard, probably.
Yep. Cool.
Holy cow. Oh,
High five.
V, what's the complication?
Oh man, what questions?
Yeah, your options are
Give me a sec.
I mean, like, yeah, like
has to be
one of
something
them
with
is
our
just a
relationship,
complication happens, right? Like,
Yep.
yeah.
you could take emotional harm.
Yeah, let's do
We could
that.
fucking go by moonlight this shit.
Yes, let's do it.
Who takes
I will
the
take
harm?
emotion-
I-
A D or Nightfall?
I'm assuming a D because a D's the one that's gonna like be hurt by the fact that she has to like. It's like the whiplash of changing position, right? You've spent so much time with a particular
Yeah.
way of being.
Okay, well, it was risky, so it's level 2 harm.
So I think like there's like the draining of everything, and like Eddie remote like being like, oh, okay. So what resistance roll is that? If I roll resist,
You want to resist that down to level 1? That will
Yeah.
be that'll be resolve.
resolve. Yeah. So I think you see this moment of Adi, like crestfallen and like trying to pull her emotional armor back together. We get a 1 bonus die.
Yeah,
for-
one bonus die for Forged by Fire.
Yeah.
And it's not.
I think
it's
you
not
might get
supernatural.
another bonus die from my bodyguard.
Ooh.
That's only
Ooh.
if you're going to step in and
Ah.
defend. Corin.
I mean, I'm tempted to do that, but I don't think Corin is on Nightfall's side here.
Well, maybe that's how you defend.
Yeah,
maybe
exactly.
you're
Like,
enough on
comforting.
a side that you're helping
Com-
the D.
Because you're helping my emotional harm. So
Yeah,
if you want to comfort
you can
me,
you
or-
can like be like, so you defending would look like she's right, and I'm sorry that hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so sweet.
And if somebody did this to my mum, I would never ever stop until I'd righted this wrong. But also knowing that righting the wrong doesn't change anything. And it's ultimately a futile task.
Yeah, because from memory, protect a teammate means resisting on their behalf.
Oh.
Which
So-
means that Derek takes
Derek
harm.
takes the Derek is basically taking the harm on and then resolving down to 1 if he
Wow.
wants to.
Yeah, and it's about like, oh, I really miss my mom.
Yeah, then
Yeah.
like
Like
And-
big
and, like-
family feelings.
and, like-
Um,
Derek's having this whole thing where he's like been told recently about all of these people who miss him.
ooh.
Like Corin's got this
Level-
whole thing about home going on at the
Um,
moment as well.
Level
Yeah.
2 harm homesick.
Yeah, level 2 homesick that he can resist down to level 1 if he wants to.
Ooh.
Do you want to do that defense, Corin?
Yeah, that's a bit risky for you.
It is
I mean, because my
Corin's just
resolve
gonna
roll is actually
die
really
of
good.
homesickness.
I mean, my resolve roll will be good too, right? Because
You've got a bunch of bonuses from the crew. You've got pretty decent, like you've got
Yeah.
command and sway.
I'm gonna tell you, like, my roll is more than it's better than yours.
Just like
But
Yeah,
yes, yours is
additionally,
good.
if you
I
want
understand,
to,
but
I'm good.
honey, my resolve roll.
I
It
mean,
would be 3 die, and there is a result that would trauma you out of the game. Just so that we're like statistically, that's what we're looking at.
Wow.
Let's maybe not do the defense on getting on hurt feelings then.
yeah, I don't need to go there. I don't think.
Yeah.
All right,
I mean,
so
we
I'm
can still
gonna
have
roll
that
mine.
fiction, but like we're not doing
Oh.
the
Yeah.
mechanism.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna roll my my resolve.
Sounds good.
roll. This one.
There's a 4 in there.
Not bad. 2.
On 4 dice, like you got a 4 in there, so
Yeah.
nice.
You
Excellent.
just needed another 2 die, and you would have got a 6.
Exactly
That's
right.
true.
So yeah, take 2 stress and yeah, mark
I
that down
did.
to like
Lost.
pardon?
Lost.
I was gonna say like robbed.
Ooh, that's
like
cool
level 1
too. I
harm
like-
robbed.
Yeah. I like it.
Or like lack of closure.
Hmm.
But
Robbed
robbed,
of
I think
closure.
robbed is the thing, right? Like
Robbed
of the
of closure.
opportunity.
Cool.
Soap opera cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Sweet. But we are convinced.
Wow.
That's why
That
the
was
spider is good. Yeah, it was intense.
All
I
right.
love it.
Do we want to go on a job then, and do we know what we're doing?
I mean, it sounds like we're going after the Centralia Club, right?
Yeah, I want to know who's causing the poisoning of shit and
That
stop
sounds
them.
like you're doing a gather information, Alana.
Yeah, so I would like to. I think I would like to go back to Salia
Mm-hmm.
and pass on what I know.
She's horrified. She wants her stepsister's body back.
Yeah.
If you would like Belle to be there, Belle is happy to like
Cool.
sadly, awkwardly explain things.
Yeah, cool. And I think that I will use similar kind of logic to explain that that's not the most important priority right now. Like, I understand that that is important, but at the same time, the spirit is the person, not the body, and the spirit is gone, and the spirit is gone the way that the spirit should have gone. And that the most important thing right now is that there is somebody else out there right now who is being made sick, like her sister has been made sick, who is looking like a walking doll, and that we need to figure out who is causing this and stop them so that this doesn't happen to another family.
Cool. Excellent.
And I want to try and get information from her about, like, yeah, if there's anybody who had been coming to the house or anybody new in this person's, like, in her sister's life and that sort of stuff, that we could kind of get to the bottom of who was causing this.
Yep. Sounds good.
So what am I doing for that? I've forgotten how to do gather information.
What kind of role do you think you're using when you're gathering information?
I'd
here?
say I'm consorting because it's
I
Salia.
think you're consorting.
My one question is, because part of it is convincing her to redirect her priorities, is its way.
Yeah, I'm happy with either.
I think I prefer to use consort
Yep. No, I just wanted to
mechanically.
put it out
Just yeah, I totally see that position as well. But like, yeah, what position and what effect?
Desperate.
I think that this is risky in that you might damage your, like, Salia might be upset that you're
Yep.
not focusing on this thing.
Yep. Risky standard.
Yeah, I think that sounds right. Yeah.
Cool. And I'm going to push myself for a bonus die.
Mm-hmm. And you get a bonus die as well for the fact that she's helping you.
Oh, cool.
So just roll an extra d6.
I think that one's just for downtown actions, Ash. Not for
Oh, is it? Okay,
gather info outside.
Oof.
that's right.
I love rolling 4 highest on 4 die.
All right,
Yeah, right?
I'll roll with the 4 then. A I mean, I think, Belle, you recognize the description of Irulan, who is one of the Dimmer sisters.
Mm.
As someone who is being poisoned.
No,
Well, it's the
when
person
she's
who-
when she's talking about the person who was treating the illness.
Oh.
V, you've never met Adi, you've never met Irulan, so, or at least you've not met Irulan in the context of the Dimmer sisters.
I think like as like Nightfall and Belle are walking away, like in the aftermath of this conversation, they say, I still think the club is the source. There are, I can name at least 3 who could do the same thing. The blade is not the problem.
Yeah.
What matters is the hand in the dark.
So it's not the blade in the dark, it's the hand in the dark, is what you're saying? Cool. Good. Nice. Cool. Yeah, no, I agree with that.
All right, so we're assaulting the Centrality Club. Great, let's do it.
Cool.
Let's do
Awesome.
it.
Let's
take
fun.
it
If
out.
you kick the shit out of the door, it's gonna be great.
We can go straight through the front door. You're friends with the gargoyles now. They'll let us in.
Well, yeah,
It's
this-
fine.
We've been there before.
Yeah, this is
Right.
the thing. I'm like, like the point of attack, the ghost Duskfall.
Yep.
Yep.
We know what that side of things look like. We know how the grandfather clock works. To
You
then
know
get
how
us-
the grandfather clock works. Fuck. Of
Like,
course.
we're all
God
fucking
damn
Great
it.
point. Oh my god, we have got this ready to
We're
go.
all set up, and yeah. So that's our detail. Everyone choose load. I'm gonna choose.
Heavy
Heavy.
as all hell.
Yep, same. Ready to
I
go.
believe
Let's
that's
do
because
it.
it's about to break loose.
Yeah. Oh, really? I thought it was all
about
the.
to break loose.
I thought it was all the emotional burden we're all carrying now.
Yeah, we're all just carrying like 5 load because we're sad, and then 1 is like a knife.
Yep. Everyone's got their load.
All right. Engagement roll.
Let's do that thing.
1 for Sherlock. Is it bold or daring? Yes.
Oh,
Is it complex or contingent? No. Actually, there is a question there. Like, is the plan just to go in there and like kill every high-ranking person we see?
I would be quite happy with destroying this poison operation. Whether that means...
I mean, the poison operation
think-
is clearly being run out of the Dimmer sisters, right? Like,
Yeah, like-
the question is who's ordering it.
Yeah, 'cause, like, I think if we're trying to be discerning about targets, it is contingent.
Yeah, because they
And
have to
or
be in
complex.
there.
Yes.
Well, because they have to be in there, and also we have to figure out who the fuck they are.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's true.
I think
Yes.
there is. So yeah, I think that's
So,
true.
like, so the question is, are we like, is the plan
do
to be
we
discerning,
care
or
or
are
do
we,
we just fuck
or are we
everything?
just gonna like burn the place to the ground?
Yeah, like do as much mayhem as we want. That is a good question.
Ash, do I have a sense about when might be the best time of day to attack, based on my surveillance?
I mean, lunch is
Part
the
of
most
it.
popular time for members of the Centuralia Club. Luncheon is the most
yes.
like yes, is a very important meal of the day.
Mock eel soup.
Yeah.
I'm very keen on just blowing everything up. Like, I am just ready to fuck shit up. But like Nightfall is just, I feel like this is like very much a point where she's just like, yeah, let's just destroy this piece of shit of a city that has been messing with me for so long, kind of thing.
I think we should do it at night so that Adi's mum is not there.
Ooh.
That makes some sense.
Yeah, if we're and if
Also,
I'm
who else wouldn't be there? Like,
I mean, yeah, I feel like if you want to make sure that whoever is running this operation is there, like doing it when more people are there is the better idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, like either we need to commit to not being discerning about targets, or we're being discerning about targets.
I'm
think-
pretty like, I'm good with blowing shit up and not caring. How is everyone else feeling?
I'm okay either way. I think it makes sense for our crew because we're savvy to be more discerning.
That does make sense to me.
The thing
I don't
that
wanna-
I wonder is, have
we
we
are also
changed-
daring.
I was going to say, the thing
Yeah,
I was going to ask is
that's true.
that where we started, and are we now more daring than we are savvy?
Yes.
We did blow up a whole bridge.
That's
a
true.
literal whole bridge.
Yeah, emotionally speaking, for a D, mayhem is also good because being robbed of closure means you want to do as much like. So,
And I think that
Fictionally,
is
that's
an
where I would
interesting
go
thing
to.
fictionally for Nightfall and a D as well, because both of us were on opposite sides of the fence with this, but then
Yep.
both of us are like interested in the same, let's just fuck everything up to make ourselves feel better outcome.
I learned that from Nightfall.
Yay!
Corin's position is he wants to be discerning. He sees no reason to punish innocent people, even if they are sort of guilty by association with the Centralia Club. If we really want to stop what's happening, we need to be very razor accurate on who we punish for this. If we go in there and we just blast people, then we're just going to make a whole bunch of enemies.
Bell?
Very, very reasonable.
Like Bell is invested because Nightfall. Like Bell doesn't care.
I think Nightfall is also kind of like, while I understand your argument about making enemies, also, what if I don't make it out of there alive and therefore enemies don't matter anymore? Let's all just die and blow everything up. Like, Nightfall is just fucking done at this point. Like, everything is just... Like, what's the point of not making enemies in a town where everyone is already shit? Kind of thing. Like,
I'm interested in
Yeah.
what Corin's response to that looks like, because there's this thing of like Corin's recently kind of like seen why you're so fatalist, right? Why you're right. Corin's had this insight into like where this is coming from.
Corin, Nightfall, if you die, you'll never get to see my homeland.
I honestly don't think Nightfall really cares. Like, I just don't think that any of that really...
You showed me your special place. Now let me show you mine. The
Wow.
double entendres just roll over.
Oh, dear.
This is okay. Here's a question then, Alana. Do you think there is something that you think would? Do you think it's possible to convince Nightfall that this is that it's better to be precise? Do you think
I
that's a
think it's
possibility?
possible to convince her of that, but I'm not sure if it's possible to guarantee that that's actually how things will go down. I think it's possible for her to agree to that prior to going in, but I also
Yeah.
don't necessarily think
What
that
do you think it would take
I think-
to make her agree to that prior to going in?
I think that if a D was like, I think if Nightfall was the only one feeling a particular way, she would
Yeah.
be told. The fact that a D is also currently like, let's fuck everything up, I'm angry, is what is making Nightfall be like, yeah, let's fuck everything up, I'm also angry. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But I think that if everybody else was like, no, let's do it like this, it's a sensible option, I'd be like, okay, like that makes sense, I guess. But maybe I'll blow a couple of things up. It's fine.
Yeah. So Adi, like, yeah, you're pretty firmly in camp blow everything up, aren't you?
I like rolling. I like these party rolls.
Yeah.
I feel like Corin also has sway over Adi.
I mean, then let's see if Corin can convince Adi.
Can I command?
You can try.
Yeah, I mean that's a kind of like
That sounds desperate.
That sounds very aggressive too.
It sounds
doesn't it?
very.
Yeah.
It's like commanding someone is very much like imposing your authority. Whether that's because you have
lead an
actual,
action.
yeah,
I love it.
intimidation and all of those sorts of things. So, but if that's what you're gonna do, then go for it.
Like
Yeah.
the potential fallout for the relationship.
I was going to
is,
say
like,
the way that the
so
relationship
much like
and
yeah.
Okay, wait.
That's cool.
All right, so let's. Okay, so there's 3 definitions of command:
Mhm.
command obedience with your force of personality,
Mhm.
intimidate or threaten,
Mhm.
or lead an action with one of the crew's gangs.
To treat us like gang members.
Yeah, right.
like you're the leader and we're the lady.
Yeah.
But
Live
even
with that.
then,
Yes, that would work.
even then that comes from a place of hierarchy.
Of course.
That
Yeah.
feels
saying,
more
"I'm the
damaging
boss."
to the relationship potentially.
Yeah, so
Does
I think
that-
it is desperate, and
If
the
we're
risk is
listening-
to the relationship.
And if we're listening and he's acting like he's in charge of all of us, does that in any way affect the rest of us as well? Because Nightfall would not stand for that shit.
Yeah.
I
I
think
just
then,
think about
Corin, I don't think it's reasonable to use a command in this situation. Then,
All right.
so
So
Unless
I'll
you
just-
want to.
yeah. Unless you want to, like, yeah. The point is that I think that it would be too disruptive to the group narrative.
Yep. And it's controlled. Or
So, what are you using?
Well,
You
what's the
using sway?
action? Is the question.
a sway.
Yep, cool. In which case, I think it's wait. There's still a risk here, so I think it's still risky. But
I will also help.
you'll help again. Spend a stress to help again.
Yeah. Of course. I like hearing from my teammates. They've
Cool.
been the people who've helped me.
Did you add a bonus dice to that, Corin?
I did. I
Wow. Yeah,
I have no-
yeah. Okay, no.
Not very good at sway.
Yeah.
have no.
You're like, no, but we should. We
Oh,
could.
maybe-
You go up against the master of persuasion, and Nightfall just like verbal judos you until you find yourself arguing her position, and she's like, "Yes, Karen, exactly."
I feel like Nightfall would be in her head thinking, should have practiced with me more. You did plenty of knife work, and you did not do anywhere near enough practice with your persuasion.
Very true.
Didn't learn
So
enough.
I think that this is not complicated. We're going to kill everyone
Yeah,
we
we're just
see.
gonna kill fucking everyone we can. Great,
Yep.
2 dice.
All right.
Does the plan's detail
This is exciting.
expose a vulnerability of the target or hit them where they're weakest? We know the way already.
Yeah,
Like, feels pretty vulnerable. Like, we've
but I
been
think
in
they
there,
also have
we've
special
scoped it out.
defenses.
Yeah, that is true. Yep. So we balance. Can any friends or contacts provide aid or insight?
I should fucking hope
Ooh.
so.
Yeah.
Everyone have a look.
And or
I don't think Zamira counts.
No.
you don't know?
Because they have to be willing to provide it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would like to make the case. I think it's Thistle. Because
Yeah.
Thistle has 100% kicked the door into a place and murdered everyone inside at least once before in her life.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And she has no moral compunctions about that happening to a group of nobles.
Yep. Great.
That's fine by her.
Great.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah. So take a dice for that. Are any enemies interfering? Yes, they fucking are.
Which one specifically?
Dim assistance?
D's mum.
Ooh.
Is she on one of our sheets?
Okay, let's have a
'Cause this-
look. That's a
'cause
very
this-
good
this
question.
question-
Yeah.
Because this question is about mechanically defined rivals
Yeah.
and enemy.
I feel like she probably should have been on my sheet at some point, right?
Well, because the other thing is, I don't know that there is easily a way for the GM to add those to our sheets during play, and I
That's weird
feel
though.
like that's intentional.
Yeah.
Because the faction status game is meant to track that stuff.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Like no one intimately close to us is interfering.
Yeah, no one intimately close.
Like political, like quote unquote, like political rivals.
Yeah, no, that's true.
But that's different.
Yep,
so
I think you're right.
3.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any other elements we want to consider? They're higher tier.
They are pretty big. There's a pretty big tier gap.
We don't actually know what it is, do we?
This is the Centralia Club is the Circle of Flame, so they are.
Yeah, they're tier 3.
Factions. Circle of Flame is tier 3. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think that's definitely a -2. The question is there anything else that we want to consider?
Yeah, like have you got any particular
I don't think so.
special prep or anything? I don't think so. I think we're
No.
even. I think we're at our point for.
Yep.
Yeah, we can roll that.
2 dice.
Cool.
Whoa. It suddenly got very small.
All right, good luck, Artful Dodgers,
Roll 20, why do you do this to me?
on your last job for this season.
Maybe our last job ever.
A 5. It could
That's
always.
alright.
That's all right. It's only. What's the technical definition for where we start?
Risky.
Yeah, so you're in a risky situation. That's the way it's described. Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
That is fictionally appropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what does the controlled version of this even look like?
We go in and everyone seems to be sleeping, and we
No,
just
no.
like.
The controlled version of this is Corin is imitating a really high and noble stature, and they're just like, oh, you've got another ghost in you. And they just assume we're meant to be here.
Instead,
I love that.
But that didn't happen.
Instead, I think we see a shot of of the spirit side of the Centralia Club, right? That with that well in the middle of it, and the like vases on the walls of the cave that is the ghost version of the Centralia Club. And just a whole bunch of people in robes lying still on the floor with pools of blood like seeping out from them, but like because it's the ghost field, they're not just like seeping out on their own. They're kind of like moving more like tides. And the door of the grandfather clock like swinging open in the just behind you as you've stepped through. And yeah, I think so yeah, you've gone in through the ghost field, stepped through the grandfather clock. For Adie's reference, there is a grandfather clock that is a like a portal into this in between the worlds.
Yeah, like an anchored one.
An
not
anchored
like
one.
Right.
Weird ghost doors.
I mean, I don't think Adie sees because Adie's in the ghost field and it's probably got her eyes closed.
Yeah, and then you get pulled through this grandfather clock, and you're like,
Yeah,
okay, it doesn't feel like the ghost field anymore.
Belle's hands are on your shoulders, and they're just like
Yeah.
frog marching you along.
Look, I've come a long way. I'm in the ghost field at least.
I'm very proud.
Very.
Mhm. And yeah, I think we cut to the inside of the Centralia Club where like you've just emerged and the room is empty. And like this is this an entrance hall, right? This is the hall where there's like the big door to outside the front door. There's stairs leading up to the top hallway that runs off into lots of rooms, and then there are multiple hallways coming off underneath the stairs, like behind the stairs, and then there are doors off to the side. And yeah, you've busted in, and there's no one in this room. But you can hear lots of conversation and knives and forks on plates and on plates coming from like one of the doors with like frosted glass nearby. The room and it's the brass plaque just reads dining room. I think that's where we go to our next break.
Oh,
We'll do that. All right.
Tonight we dine.
Tonight we'll dine in the ghost
In
pit.
hell!
All right. We'll be back in just a second, chat.